Hey guys, welcome back for another video. We got a fun one prepared today. What we'll be doing is we'll be looking at our first round of the college football playoffs that we have coming up for next week. But we're going to be focusing specifically on the number 9 Tennessee Volunteers versus the number 8 Ohio State Buckeyes matchup. We are going over every single game individually, completely breaking down the matchup, who's going to win, who's going to lose, what the final score will be. And we'll also be touching on the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. If you're a football fan, if you're a college football fan, a sports fan, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can follow along with us. This is the first year of the 12-team playoff. We have 12 teams all competing to get to that national championship level, but we have the first round coming up. So we have the 4 conference champs that have the bye, and then we have everybody else who's going to be playing this weekend, trying to get their chance to match up with those teams currently on the bye. But kicking things off next Saturday on ABC, December 21st at 8 p.m., number 9, the Tennessee Volunteers, 10-2. They missed out on the SEC championship. They'll be playing number 8 Ohio State Buckeyes, sitting there at 10-2. Right now, the Buckeyes, pretty big favorites here, 65.5% chance to win this game, but there's a lot riding on this game. This is a Big Ten versus SEC matchup. The two biggest power conferences facing off, 2 of their biggest name brands. Who is going to own this game? Who's going to dominate this game in the trenches? Right now, the Buckeyes, they come in as 7.5-point favorites. The over in here is 47 points. Tennessee started out the season with all the flair. They were lighting it up. They were scoring points. They were running. They were throwing. And they were playing elite level defense. They have a top 10 defense. They have a top 10 defensive line. Pressures, sacks, tackles for a loss. They get all of it. And they had 5-star Nico taking over at the helm at the quarterback position. And then SEC play started. The defense continued to perform at the same level, but the offense started tapering off the deeper they got into SEC play. Specifically, once Nico started feeling pressure, he started letting deep balls sail, hitting the dirt. He kind of stepped up. Now, he didn't play bad at all by any means, but you saw as the competition ticked up, his level of play went down. Now that they've had some time to think, work on the playbook, we know Josh Heupel, one of the best offensive minds in all of college football, he can dial up some great things. Nico still had a good season overall, but obviously not the 5-star level season a lot of people thought. He had 2,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 picks. Tennessee overall still had a top 25 offense, averaging 37.3 points a game. One of the most balanced offenses in the nation, if not the most balanced, throwing for 240.1 yards per game, running for 232.5. They practically run for the same amount of yardage as they pass for, and they're only giving up 13.9 points a game, only 99.6 given up on the ground. This team is deep at the line of scrimmage. We know SEC teams pride themselves on their physicality and on their battling in the trenches at the line of scrimmage. They were built this way. They have a top 5 defensive line in the country. But obviously, the X factor here is going to be Dylan Sampson. He's closing in on 1,500 rushing yards, 22 total touchdowns. This guy's like a video game character. He's lighting things up, and he can catch the ball out the backfield. Where he goes, he's going to carry this offense. The more he does on the ground rushing the ball, obviously that's going to open up the play action for Tennessee. And they also have Thornton Jr., Squirrel White, playmakers at every single position. And obviously, Josh Heupel, one of the best offensive minds calling plays. Then you look at the Buckeyes. This team is loaded. It's not taking anything away from the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes, as of right now, according to ESPN, have the number 3 overall roster in all of college sports. They have one of the best coaching staffs. Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, Knowles, high, big brand, big name coaches at every single position. But there's a lot of pressure on Ryan Day. This game is at Ohio State. This is a home game. That puts a lot of pressure on Ryan Day. The last time they were at home, they got beat down by Michigan. Yes, I'm calling that a beatdown because they were heavy favorites. They lost the battle in the trenches. This is a very physical team with the number 1 statistical defense in the entire nation. This team's built in the trenches, but their offensive line's very banged up. They are currently down a couple starters. That has affected the rushing game second half of the season. They're going to be led by Will Howard. Well, let's just say it. If Ryan Day loses this game, I don't know if he's going to be the Buckeyes coach next season. This was the year they spent like $20 million on the NIL to bring in a highly ranked staff, the playmakers. They put a lot of money into this team. If it's not now, then when is it? First year of the top 12 getting in. Sometimes they just barely miss out. Now, hey, 12 teams get in. If Ryan Day still can't get it, at least make a deep run in the playoffs, he might not be here next season. Will Howard, He can kind of do a little bit of everything. He can throw, he can scramble. Right now he's closing in on 2,900 yards, 27 touchdowns, 8 picks. He also has 7 rushing yards. He can do a lot with his legs extending plays, but still keeping his eyes looking down the field. They're averaging 35.5 points a game, throwing for 260.6, running for 169.2. Not rushing the ball as well as they were first half, but they can still run the ball. Like I was saying, this game's going to be decided in the trenches. You'll want to get that run game going. You want time of possession in this game. Keep the turnovers down. And they have the number 1 defense in the entire nation scoring-wise, only giving up 10.9 points a game, only giving up 250 offensive yards every single game, only 96.8 on the ground. Both of these teams are very similar to one another. They both want to run the ball. They both want to be physical. They both want to play elite defense. They are both more than capable of doing that. Looking at their playmakers, one of the best 1-2 running back punches in the country. Obviously, Dylan Sampson is one of the best running backs himself, but the Buckeyes have a running back by tandem. They're going to rotate these guys. They're going to keep their legs fresh. They have Quinton Junkins, and they have Henderson. No matter who gets the most carries, it doesn't really matter. Both of them cycling in through the game that starts to wear down defense's second half. Because you have to compete with this running back combo, not for 1, 2, or 3, but 4 physical quarters of fresh legs consistently getting put into the game. And they have one of the deepest, if not the deepest, wide receiver core in the nation. They have Jeremiah Smith, a great freshman, and they have Egbuka. Both of these guys are going to be first-round picks. So who's going to win this game? We have 2 teams. They want to run. They want to be physical. They want to play defense. Mirror images. One has an SEC logo. One has a Big Ten logo. If Tennessee wins this game, props to them, props to the SEC. If Ryan Day loses this game, he's probably getting fired. But also, if they win this game, they get to move on further. He keeps his job safe. They keep that recruiting momentum going, and the Big Ten gets the win. So who do I have pulling this game out? I think this game's going to be very close. I don't think it's actually going to be decided till the fourth quarter. Vegas has it being kind of a beatdown for the Buckeyes. I have the Buckeyes pulling away fourth quarter and actually being able to kind of get that run game going. But Will Howard, he's going to have to do a lot of extending plays. If there's a first down there, take it. Take off, scramble. This defensive line is going to try to keep you in the pocket and force you into third and long situations, force you to have to beat them vertically through the air. I have Ohio State winning this in a lower scoring game, winning it 24-21. I'm going to go with the +7.5, and I'm actually going with the under. But, this is also one of those games that could end up being a complete shootout. It could be 38-34, just like the Ducks-Penn State game this past weekend. But I do think the Buckeyes will win this game. They are very talented, but do not underestimate Tennessee. This is going to test Ryan Day as a coach. This is going to show us how good of a coach he is. He has all this talent. Tennessee's very talented, top 10 talent on the roster, but the Buckeyes, you're number 3. You're up there at the top. You have all these big-name players. You spent $20 million on this team. You have to get a playoff win. It's not optional. That's our breakdown of our round 1 Tennessee versus Ohio State matchup. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments about this game or anything else, drop it below, and I will respond. Thank you.